Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, it can't be replaced.
Incorporates the idea of play. How important is play in our everyday lives? Where do we find it? Is it cool that we're finding it in this urban environment? And as we walk through these pieces, think about, like, is there a theme?
I'm trying to get that sign you got on. That's so cool.
We're going to gather right over here. And if you want to come on in, we can kind of get under this area because you can see the piece from both sides.
This piece is actually, you may have never seen it before, but it's pretty famous in the math world. This shape is called a Sierpinski triangle. So it's the most basic mathematical representation of a fractal. And if you look at it, there's like one triangle on the top of three triangles. That becomes one module, and then that one module is on top of three modules. That one big unit is on top of three units. So that kind of helps us think about what a fractal is. And a fractal is a shape or a form that could be infinitely scaled. So it could be as big as the universe, or it could be as small as a grain of sand. And the cool thing about fractals is they're not just like mathematical theory, like they really exist in the world. A lot of trees have fractals, so they break down into smaller and smaller branches.
It's working.
Yeah.
The title of my project is Oyster Corner, and my name is Hanindi, by the way. I'm with Goodyear Arts Collective in Camp Norton, and yeah, I was inspired by nature itself. In the time of the application, I was taking a lot of nature walks, and I actually don't love walking, but the one thing that kind of helps me like do that is scouting for mushrooms. And so during the application, I was like, how can I bring a part of like something I really enjoy and bring it like immerse it into the city? So I thought of like an 8-foot tree with oyster mushrooms growing on it.
Okay, so who else has that thought? I mean, sort of a permanent version of one of the earlier years projects for the Rail Trail Life. This piece is called Fairy Rings, and it's by local artist Meredith Connolly. I don't know, does anybody remember going out to the Whitewater Center and they had all the light things that are out there? That's Meredith Connolly's work. And she did one of the early projects for Rail Trail Life, and it turns out that the developer that owns Atherton Mill and programs the space here along with South Bend, they liked the project so much that they invited her to make it permanent. And that's a real challenge for an artist, because making something that is out in the outdoors and is sustainable for 3 weeks, and then turning it into something that is sustainable outdoors for a very long time is a bit of a jump. And it's been a huge kind of boost for Meredith and her work. These are permanent. There is a concrete sort of base underneath all of these through which the wiring is run. These are, they are 3D printed. I think there's 113 of them or something. I can't remember precisely. Does that ring a bell? Is that close? Oh, okay. In different sizes, and they go kind of all the way around except for the little opening here. Meredith is also an artist that works with nature, and she draws her inspiration from nature. And I think that it's really important here. One of the themes that I was hoping you would sort of realize is how many of these artists are interacting with nature, how many of them are drawing inspiration from them. Anna's drawing inspiration with the fractals that appear in nature. And then experiencing nature and coming up with the idea for her project. And Meredith here also inviting us to sort of to really concentrate on nature and sort of how we interact with it. This is also a very, very playful sculpture. You're invited to walk through it. One of the coolest things from being around here a long time is that there did used to be a huge tree here. I don't know, people who aren't really that familiar with the area, it was one of the big oak trees like that, but it was really a spectacular tree. And I don't know if you've seen this happen, but the mushrooms that come up, and so this is sort of her connection to the past a little bit here, which I think is a nice remembrance. Anna, do you know anything else about Meredith that you'd like to add? Okay, we'll get everybody over here, and I don't see Oliver right yet, so we'll hopefully
around making these different images.
turn it up. Can you talk a little? Or yeah.
If you're ever in Madison, Wisconsin, definitely a place to check out. It's a really, really beautiful town park. And I was doing this installation called Amazing Shadows. They stationed me in an area where it's sort of like a little pavilion area, so I can set up, put everything together, and then take it out to this like field to actually install this giant vase. But right next to this was a giant pot, and people were spinning it and looking into these eyepieces, and I became very curious of what they were doing and what it was. So actually we'll reuse this artwork. It's going to go on tour. There's a couple other cities I'm going to be taking it to later this year. So yeah, so it starts here in Charlotte, and then come in the fall, it'll probably go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and then we'll probably make it to the
That's so cool. What is this made out of?
So it's mainly made out of wood, but it's also reinforced with fiberglass as well. So that's why the fiberglass is incorporated into.
How can people find out about what you're doing in Charlotte?
The best thing to do is just follow me on Instagram. Terrible social media, so I'm okay with Instagram. That's the easiest one. TikTok, I'm going to hire somebody to do that. But yeah, just follow me on Instagram and the Robot Artist. And you should be able to see all the different activities I'll be doing here in Charlotte. And next one's going to be Charlotte Chow, more kaleidoscopes, but this one will be where you can actually use the kaleidoscope itself and look at the city of Charlotte. Yeah, exactly. I had to get it working for the opening, so I was like, I can't forget something.
Oh wow. That's so cool. Yeah, I zoomed in. And it's a backpack. Follow the road. That's so cool.